What is up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimistic at Best, the podcast. And I'm so excited because we're here and we're doing it, and it's season 2. Thrilled to be back at it. But ironically enough, we're talking about being busy today. And that's kind of why we had to take a pause, and we're leaning into seasons. But yeah, we're here and we're going to chat through some of these things. And I have a returning guest with me, welcoming Sophia to this stage.
How are you, my girl?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. So I was thinking in my head about how I wanted to structure it, the concept of busy, and how we're all being inundated by big busy. TM. And I realized all cool modern things, it starts with TikTok.
True.
Okay. So any normal depressed person, I spend a lot of time on TikTok, an amount that I will not disclose.
That's fair.
Okay, because everybody says I spend a lot of time on TikTok, and I'm like, but is it? What do you consider a lot of time?
Right. We don't want to. We don't want to say anything incriminating.
no one's giving figures, and I'm not giving figures because I can't risk that humiliation. But anyways, a lot of time. Okay, that's all we'll say. Yeah. And there's this also the TikTok has a way of humiliating you because it will show you videos over and over again, and you're like, why? But also it's because subconsciously that's what you are showing interest in,
Yeah, right.
So
100%.
It's calling you out 24/7. So I get a lot of TikTok videos about being that girl.
Oh my God.
For the folks at home, that girl is it's the concept of a girl. It's never a boy. It's only girls, I guess, that do this, or that this is we're being pushed to do this. It's you wake up at 7 and you work out right away, or you do yoga, and then there's coffee, and then there's a lot of water, and then there's meditating, and then there's journaling. It's so ugly. Come on. Okay. And then there's journaling, there's meditating, then there's some sort of lunch. It's it's those quick clips. And it's a very aesthetic kind of video. And she's probably 90 pounds and maybe 16.
Yeah.
And everyone's I want to be that girl. I want to be that girl. And it goes the whole goddamn day.
So these are just it's how we used to make Vines, and it was a second at a time with little something.
Yeah. It's a little it's a little clip, but it's it's kind of the reason it's so it's visual crack, I realize, is because kind of the montage scene in a movie, which 100%. Is also visual crack, the original.
And are they putting it to a cool song? Obviously,
or even worse, maybe an instrumental interlude.
Oh yes,
and so it's building, and you're just wow, that's sick. And so then I'm okay, I want to be that girl.
Yeah, right, 100%.
And then
sold.
I'll maybe I'll do it one day, and it sucks.
That's fair.
It sucks. So I was this is it's not boring, but it's just it's so lame. And so then I was okay, why do people think being busy is cool?
Dude, I know. And we're fed that all the time.
From such a young age. Even I was looking at all the meme pages I follow that are actually probably kind of lame now. Dude, I feel they're maybe a little chuggy, dare I say.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm throwing out a lot of internet terms, but it's always about how you don't sleep and you're always tired. And I feel it's we're in a competition of just in college. That's so what it was.
Oh,
it would be you'd be oh, you slept 4, I slept 2.
Yeah, right.
And
you've had 6 cups of coffee, I've had 10.
You're shaking, I can barely see straight.
Yeah, literally.
It's just little things like that. But then it was always it's yeah, I had an exam, but I also went to the KK. There's always it's never, you can't just be doing one thing. You have to be doing all of the things.
I'm loving that you're using the Madison bar.
Yeah. I have a theory that the demographic of this podcast is UW grads.
That's fair. That is so fair.
I think.
Yeah.
So I want to put it in terms that they can understand.
I love that.
If I said Fieldhouse Bar, no one would know what I was talking about. But like that's our equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
For anyone in the Iowa tri-state area.
I frequented the Fieldhouse every time I visited. So.
You sure did. You sure did. That was great. But like, yeah, just I feel like there's such a weird glorification.
Oh my God, I know.
Of being busy.
I'm tired of it.
And then like but also I realized that that's for people who don't have shit going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Like if you don't have a job or like maybe you're in school, because then like your schedule's like you're more in control of your own schedule. And like,
well, that's what I'm saying. There's no way I could fit all that shit in before my day got started.
Like, when you actually become busy with like an actual job or like an actual, I don't know, like you start like developing like an actual life and you actually are busy. This shit's for the birds.
100%, dude. 100%.
It's so bogus.
No, it's like the actual absolute worst. And you're so busy, you don't even have time to be busy with the things that you want to be busy with, which is extra dumb.
Yeah. And like anybody who's like scheduling in time to like consistently work out or like develop any kind of creative practice, I'm like, okay, so you're not busy.
Yep, right.
So it's fake. And so it's all a lie because
this is a facade.
Yeah, like it's just like it's like people who like they create busy. It's kind of like in quarantine. I developed a nemesis.
Okay.
It was a girl. I won't name names. Because the last time I was on the pod, I also was talking shit and we had to bleep it out. But so this time I'll just keep it anonymous. But she's a girl that I worked with, and we're actually like we were like friends when we worked together, and we've always been friendly. She's maybe one of those like annoyingly nice people. Like she does nothing wrong.
Sure.
But during quarantine, I like fully zeroed in and like keep tabs on her life to this day because I'm a fucking hater. And I'm like she has become like my outlet, and she's one of those people that like was like, okay, just did yoga, baked this loaf of bread, and like now I'm gonna like do a puzzle, and actually I'm gonna do my puzzle upside down. And I was just like, and then she'd make like a pizza from scratch for dinner and stuff, and like everyone becomes like a little micro influencer, so they're posting this all. Mm-hmm. On their Instagram stories, and I was just like
sharing it with the fans.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so you like being busy? And they'd be like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm like, doing fucking what?
I know.
Doing what?
Imagine if I had time to make my own pizza.
Yeah,
I really have time to cook the pasta that I'm making for 4 minutes on the stove.
Yeah, I was like, if you have, and like, so there's this weird, I don't know, like it's like the hustle of it all.
Yeah.
Or like
and
being
it is.
a
It's
girl
very
boss.
glorified. Yep.
And then so which segues me into my next point, that there's also like the concept of a busy person, which is like a person who can't I follow a lot of influencers like this, and I don't follow that many influencers, but the ones that I do, they're like, yeah, I just can't sit still.
You're right.
And they're like, like I always got to be doing something. And I'm like,
okay.
Like that sort of like workaholic kind of mentality.
This? Right.
No, yeah. I know. And it's so annoying because I'm like, it's so lame that like your mental illness makes you act like that.
Right.
And mine makes me like bedridden for 12 hours after 100%. I work a 6-hour shift, you know? And I'm just like, it's, like, and because they post their whole day, so it's like them at work. And I'm thinking of one specific person who, once again, I will not name names, but like they'll be like at work, and then they're like, okay, gonna go shoot looks or whatever the fuck influencers do.
Yep.
And then like they're always like, then they're going to like a spin class, and I was like, and then people are like, how do you fit all, like, they do the Q&As, and I'm reading the Q&As because if you're gonna be a hater, you have to be an informed hater.
Yes,
that is why I'm dedicated to creeping on the people that I don't like. Because I need to make an informed decision about why I don't like them and what I'll be making fun of them for.
Right. Yes.
Some people
could describe
me. You could describe me as a fan, a hater and fan on paper, similar definitions. And like, that's where the karma doesn't get messed up. Okay. Because in reality, I'm still giving them views. I'm giving I'm boosting their content. I'm just internally pissed.
Yeah, right.
And then I can do things like this and
haters
go into
are
a
our
podcast.
motivators. Yeah,
exactly.
right.
And I don't just preach hate, I live it.
I love that.
I'm dedicated to this as a hobby.
Yes.
And so I am reading the Q&As.
No, 100%.
When people are like, where do you have time to do all of this? And they're like, I just always love to be, I just can't sit still. And I'm like,
I know. And you really have to wonder, like, because, like, are they saying that with their chest? Let me know. And
I know.
Like,
and I'm just like, and like now she's remodeling a fucking house. And I'm just like, and she goes to work and then goes to like fucking do drywall or whatever you do. And she films the whole thing. And
of course.
Like, I don't know. It's just, and lately I think it's because, like, maybe it's because like I'm still a student, and then I've recently also started working again, not in like any kind of, in like I'm a bartender. And so like, it's like an annoying kind of work. But I am busy for like the first time, like since
probably moving there. Yeah. I mean,
no, probably since like fucking, when did coronavirus start? March?
Yeah, right. Literally.
That one March in 2020 or whatever, or 2000. I don't even know. I have no idea. But like, I swear I haven't like been fully busy, except for like the few days that I've moved in like within the last 2 years. Like that was the only time I'm like, oh, so much going on.
Yeah, chaotic, isn't it?
Yeah, like, oh, this is crazy. But other than that, like, I have stuff to do, but I usually had like, you know, the whole time, like a lot of time to do it. And so now I've just like the return to busy that we're all facing. And I think this summer specifically, because like this is vaccinated summer.
Right.
And so everybody is like making plans and everybody wants to do stuff. And it's like, oh, like this weekend and everything just fills up so fast.
Oh my God, I know. And I like don't even think I have an open weekend in the next, I don't even know how long. And it's, part of that is nice, and part of it is so overwhelming it's not even funny. Like I like having plans. I like having things to look forward to, but like I would also like a day to just rest. Maybe that would be kind of nice. And the fact that I have to pencil that in is like so ridiculous.
I know. Yeah, because I recently started seeing a therapist, and so we're like breaking down because I'm like, I am allergic to being busy.
Yeah. Right,
I hate it.
Same.
I hate it, and I hate pretending. I hate that I have to pretend that I'm not.
I know.
That everyone else is like, oh, like the grind, and I'm like playing, you know, I'm performing. So I'm like,
100%.
Third cup of coffee, but like also like I'm dying inside because it sucks. Yeah. So she's like, yeah, we have to schedule in breaks. And my thesis advisor says the same thing. She's like, yeah, you have to work for 45 minutes and then take a 15-minute break. And I'm like, in what fucking world does someone pick their phone up?
That's what I'm saying.
For 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Right.
15 minutes. She's like, could you play a game? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to.
You're being unrealistic. Right.
Yeah. Like it's going to be like it's like, you know, the way it goes when you work is you sit down and you open everything up and you're like, okay, that's done. Phone.
Yep.
And then you're like, wait, actually, I have to start working. You work for like 3 hours and then you like realize you haven't like taken a deep breath.
Yeah.
Like unclenched your like jaw.
You
in
might
3
need
hours.
a snack.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's 20 minutes of phone time.
Yep.
10 minutes of being like, fuck.
Yep. What's next?
And then like another 3 hours. Or you like, then it's like, I feel like you get like certain, at least this is how it works for me. You get like certain like bursts of like really intense work. And then usually to me, like hell comes around between 2 to 5.
Yep, same.
That is just like the most disgusting time of day.
I know.
It's so weird. Because like on one hand, you could close up shop. But on the other hand, like, and you're tired. And like everything that you do, at least for me, in that time of the day is going to be like the least quality.
Oh, 100%. The productivity level plummets.
Like I probably get like an hour worth of work done within those like 3 or 4 hours because it's just and, like the lighting is weird. Yes, you're tired and like you can't really have another coffee. You can't, like you like want to have second lunch, but like or like but dinner's in like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh, 100%. And something about that too, like your post meal, you get what is that? Like you're like I'm
the dip.
Like, this is it is a dip.
It's like it's really a blood sugar thing, and then you know you're gonna have like and the thing about like big busy is I feel like then it creates this market, like it gets everybody frazzled, and then it creates like this point of entry for just like companies to just like sell us shit.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm buying. And I'm buying. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm buying. It's just like whatever, like there's the energy bars and there's the smoothies and
true.
There's like the like $20 salads. And like that's just like on the street. But like, again, you get Amazon.
Oh, I know.
And it's like, look at this little robot that will open your curtains for you. Like it just creates all of where you're like, oh, that's going to change my life.
Right.
That's
or the sun lamp thing. Yeah. Or the Hum energy pills. I have a bottle of those.
Essential oils. Sam, we have fallen victim.
We have.
Can I say it? Can I give the free clout to the girlies? Low Bosworths.
Yes, dude. Yep, absolutely.
I recently spent $120 on vitamins.
Same. I got the entire pack.
Change my life. Yeah, no, I got the pack because you got the pack.
Yep.
I remember I had to ask you to send me them because I mixed them all up because I'm an idiot. I even got I have the like 2-week pill box.
Mm-hmm. Oh, same. Oh, right. Her brand too. Like the Love Wellness pill box. Absolutely.
The pink one. It's adorable. It's fantastic. I keep my Adderall in it now.
That's nice.
Because I had to hit the stronger stuff. But
I respect that.
Yeah, it just creates like such a weak me, like a weak version of me that I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, it's like you're drowning because you're busy, and busyness is drowning.
Yeah, it is.
And then you are like reaching out, and you'll take anything. Yeah. Right. And so including shit at you.
Including the Love Wellness pills.
Yeah. They're saying like good girl probiotic, like weirdly sexualized vitamins. Bought.
Yep.
This like weird memory foam pillow. Bought. That never gets warm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Just like
this. I have a lot of I really recently invested in cooling sleepwear.
Really? Mm-hmm. And I also was finding out how much you sweat when you sleep.
Yep. Disgusting. We're trying to level up because we only get so many hours these days.
Okay, so what's cooling sleepwear?
Like for my bed. So bedding.
Okay. Oh, so like sheets that don't get hot.
Yep, and a duvet cover that doesn't get hot. I don't know if it works.
Where'd you get that?
So
is that going to change my life? It might.
It might. It really might. All of the sheets, the pillowcases, and the duvet cover are from Parachute, which is a trendy.
Oh, did they do undies?
No, not that. That's different.
Do you know? No, that's Parade. That's Parade.
Parade. Yeah, that's Parade. Parachute, mostly bedding and homeware. And then I got a duvet, a new one, and it's supposed to be cooling as well from Buffy.
Okay.
Which I'm liking it so far. I'm also thinking about investing in a $350 cooling weighted blanket.
Dude, okay, the weighted blanket, that was one of the things that I was like, someone threw at me, but it does something.
Yeah.
Another thing, wait, I have it right here that I recently got. A headache headband.
Oh, yes, you were. Yes, you had that on the other day. That's nice.
Hold on.
Wow, that's really something.
You can put it in the fridge. For the fans who
can't see this, she's putting it on to demo. Oh my God. Wait, what's in it? Why does it look like that?
Because the reason, so I don't get migraines. That's an excuse I tell other people, but like I've never gotten a migraine in my life.
I don't think I have either.
I'm very sensitive to headaches. But yeah, I mean, knock on wood, but like, no, my bosses think I get chronic migraines. Because migraines are the easiest way to get out of anything.
Yeah, that's true.
The minute you say a migraine, everyone's like, oh, because other people do get them. Anyway, so it's like got like those like gel, like it's like an ice pack in here.
Okay. So you refrigerator?
Yeah, you can refrigerate it and then it's cold. But what it does, the reason it's sick is because it creates compression. So it like simulates like someone pressing on your forehead. So after a day of being a victim of Big Busy, you take a half an edible, right? 2.5, you're good. Weighted blanket, headache headband.
That. And the recipe for the cure.
You're just like sitting there in bed. But like that's what I mean. The fact that like our lives have been cultivated
Oh God, I know.
To feel that miserable that we have to like, and like, there's no pleasure in being busy.
No, dude,
there's
it sucks.
Just like,
I'm happy to say that. It fucking blows dicks.
Yeah, no, it blows so bad. And it's just like, you know, like even eating is like, it's like a 10-minute thing.
God, I know. You're rushed and it's so weird.
You give yourself like heartburn and you barely chew.
And it's weird that that's something then that gets bragged about. Like, you know, only 5 minutes of lunch, or like I work in like the salon professional industry. The amount that is spread around as like, like little memes that are like, you know, you're a hairstylist when, and it's like, you scarfed your food down in 5 minutes. You've been standing for 12 hours. Like, what the hell is that?
That's slave labor, babe.
Yeah, literally.
It's modern slavery.
Yeah.
Or the concept of like, oh my God, like I haven't eaten in like 8 hours, which in college, that was me 110%.
Oh, same.
Because
that's still me sometimes.
Yeah.
If I don't pack a lunch,
we're screwed. It's just like, I don't know. It just, sometimes it just is not built into the schedule. And like, also like big busy ruins your appetite. Cause you're just so,
it does.
there's no pleasure in eating. And then like, it almost like is no desire to eat because it's not like, I feel like we're just like, it's like a sensory-less experience to be busy.
Yes.
And so you're just like cold and like achy. And then it's really hard to come down from it too.
I know it is.
Like
it takes a lot of time. And that's so much harder to relax.
Yeah. I've never understood people that just like can like that. And I don't know if there's even anybody out there like that, because it's like, you don't get, that you can walk out of work and it's just like, you're immediately out of that mode.
Well, and that's always interesting because that takes a certain kind of job. I feel like, you know, like I had that when I was at the university bookstore, and if I'm done with work, I'm done with work. But like now with the kind of field you and I work in, like that's not the case. And so like, you're always thinking about work. I think that kind of sucks. Like I don't want to be thinking about this all the time. And I really like my job now, you know, but like, it's still, it's like, and sometimes I just want to mind my fucking business.
The biggest scam of being busy is the fact that like you'll never feel satisfied.
Yep.
You can be doing like a million things and you'll still get home and be like, but I didn't do this and I didn't do that. Or like,
the list is never ending.
Like, especially like, you know, if you've been focusing on professional, whatever, then you've got the personal projects that are like falling to the wayside and you're like, I don't create enough. And then if you take the time for those, sorry, there's the ambulance. Do you want to know a really dark thought I have?
Yes.
So like oh dude, I almost got a BUI yesterday.
Sophia, a bicycle? Wow. Oh my God. That is so funny.
I got pulled over. But
was it a bike cop?
No, they pulled up in a fucking van. They cut me off.
Hilarious. Oh my God.
I was hammered and it was like 4:30 in the morning. And I'm just swerving on the bike path and they come in their van.
For those who don't know, Sophia lives in Amsterdam now. Recently moved, the city of the bicycling. That is so fucking funny.
I stayed up late with my coworkers to have a drink, which turned into like 3 or 4. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home. And so I'm shoop shoop shoop, and I was shoop shoop shooping, but I was also trying to record a voice note on my friend, like to my friend for his birthday.
You're doing too much.
No, I was overdoing it, and I was getting cocky. So they cut my ass off on a bike. Or no, in a van, and I was on my bike, but they let me off with a warning, and they're like, "You can't do that," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
That's what they say. Yeah,
and then, they also just let me bike home.
Oh my God! Give the poor girl a ride at this point.
That's what I'm saying. And you guys have a van, so it was all. I was in the clear, but I did.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
I know.
Even more funny if they would have made you get off and walk.
That would have been so pissed. I just have to take it. That's the craziest thing about Amsterdam is it really is the difference between a 10-minute bike ride and an hour walk. I don't know how that works.
Oh, that's really interesting.
You know, I feel like in Madison, for example, it's okay, we could bike, we could walk, and biking's faster, but walking's not. It's yeah,
right. Maybe it's 15 minutes more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's it's like I would have taken me like a whole hour to get home.
Interesting. Well, that's a good thing they didn't make you do that.
Yeah, it was hell.
Dude, biking while drunk is dangerous.
It is, but like everybody does it. So I was like, okay,
that's
this is
true.
just like being as a local does. I was also like 4:30 in the morning. Like nobody on those roads were sober.
So that's fair. It's normalized.
But then I was like, all right, we really got to get together. And the rest of the way was smooth.
Okay, that's good.
And normal, but
that is so
I did
funny.
come close. I came close. I almost got in trouble. And then it would have been like an €100 fine, I think, is all they do. Because like it's not that dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. It fully is. I was also in the touristy area, so like that's more dangerous because
sure.
then more likely that I would hit someone or someone would hit me.
Because they're not used to it.
Tourists are a disease.
The rules.
That is something I've learned.
That's fair.
From my time is that tourists are an effing disease. But okay, that was a little tangent. What was I saying? Oh, about how big busy is a myth. It's a myth. You'll never feel accomplished. And so it's kind of pointless. And then just like digging yourself into a hole.
You never feel like you have enough time for any of the things,
Yeah.
No matter how you spend it.
This is so gross and so not the brand of the way we talk, but I was listening to this podcast by two people who are really funny, and they talk about like wellness, but in like kind of a jokey way, but they're also like kind of into it. And they're talking about like the desire for like products and how you're always just trying to like find the thing that's going to change your life, which is like maybe my thesis statement to my whole life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if I buy this though, everything's going to be different.
Yep.
And they're saying that the ego, like that's like your internal, like I think it's like your kind of like most like high strung, high pitched, like worst qualities sort of like encompassing your like personal ego.
Yeah. And
like when we strive from a lot of our insecure places, that's like coming from the ego. And like, that's where our sensitivity comes from, blah, blah, blah. And the ego always strives to seek, but never to find. Because if you find it, then like you wouldn't.
Then what's
like,
the point?
It doesn't want to find it because then it can't.
Anything.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah,
it would die. That would be an ego death. So it always is looking, and I feel like that's what being busy is like. Is you're just like, if any moment frees up, then and like because like even just like taking time. Like I had this morning. I like because I'm trying to get better about if I have to work at 6, like not just being like, well, I have to work at 6, whole day's canceled.
Yep. I feel that. That's a hard thing to get past. It really is.
It's gnarly. Yeah. And so I went for a walk with my book, very main character vibes. Then even as I'm like sitting and having a coffee, I was like, look at me reading a book.
I know.
Like even like the self-care feels more like, look at me doing, like it doesn't even feel good.
I know.
And because it's just like, I'm so aware.
Because it's just the concept. Right.
Yeah. I'm like, good. You're taking this scheduled an hour to sit and read this book. And so then every like 10 minutes, I'm like, look at you reading that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really are reading that book. And it's a book I've read before. It's like, I can't even bring myself to read something new right now.
No, I get that.
So like, I don't know. This is also off topic, but are you a food fixator? Do you get into like food moods?
I guess it depends.
I feel like you've consistently liked the same foods for your entire life.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like you've got like your snacks and shit that you just like have always liked.
That's probably true.
But I've been going through like food fixations, which is like a byproduct of me being busy. So like right now, I only want to eat cold sandwiches, smoothies, and like I would eat a salad made by someone else if I had the time to like go to a restaurant.
Oh, I feel that.
And like a bagel, and that's it.
Yeah.
And like I can't bring myself. Like I like to cook, but like I can't bring myself to like do anything
I'm in the
other
exact
than those
same boat
small
right now.
things.
Me too. And it needs to be easy because of how busy I am. I mean, I don't have time to like sit there and make a lunch in the middle of the day. I literally do not. So it needs to be something I can prepare in like 2 minutes, or I don't do the things that other busy people do, like meal prep. I don't do that. And it's not, I don't want to do that. First of all, having the same meal every week sounds boring. Do I do it anyways when I make it day up? Kind of. But for some reason.
At least it's a little different and like it's kind of fresh.
Yeah, it's much more fresh.
Because like right now,
depending on how old my groceries are.
I'm on the verge of like tipping into meal prep territory where I'm like, I just need to like have shit that I can just grab and go. But I'm like, that to me is like sipping the Kool-Aid. Like that's putting on the white cap and the white gown and like joining the cult and being like, I have 4 little Tupperwares in my fridge, like pre-portioned, the exact same meal. And like by Thursday, it's going to be disgusting.
I know. And the thing I hate about it is, when are you making those? Sundays. What are Sundays supposed to be for? Relaxing. And then it's just in preparation for your fucking week. No.
And it's never going to be like any recipe that can be blown up enough to be divided into 5 separate meals is never going to be good.
No.
You know, it's never going to be delicious. And so then I'm also like, it's like I fixate on these stupid things. So like, I'm always like, how much protein am I getting in?
Yeah.
Because recently it was revealed to me how much protein you're actually supposed to be eating. And it's like, I mean, it depends on your body weight, but it's like 100 grams a day. Something disgusting.
I'm not anywhere close. Yeah.
And so like, it's just like, I feel like every single thing I learn or I see, I'm just like, I have to be doing that too.
I know. Oh, 100%.
Like, okay, so
it's the worst.
I'm supposed to like be at my computer for 8 hours a day, but also have to get like 10,000 steps. And now all of a sudden you have to get 100 grams of protein. You have to drink like a fuck ton of this, a fuck ton of water. And like, even on days where like, okay, like that brings me back to like that girl of it all, of like, even on days where I do that, at the end of the day, I'm like, this shit is not worth it.
No, it's not.
I don't feel good.
Fulfilled.
Like, I don't feel good. I don't feel better.
No, in fact, I feel more exhausted when I do all of those things.
Yeah, because I'm just like, you do it, and then it's like, okay, no, here's the thing, though. You have to do that every day until you keel over and die.
Literally. Well, I think it's really interesting because 2 things. One, I think one of the reasons that this has honestly become more apparent, I feel like, is because we did have this stupid pandemic that we all had to sit through, and we were like forced into relaxing because we couldn't leave our homes. Mm-hmm. And not that was like particularly relaxing time, but we were, that was like the most I've ever chilled because it was enforced. Mm-hmm. And now that there's like this resurgence and everyone's back out doing their damn thing, it's like, I'm like actually sitting here being like, no, this is too much. Like, yeah, I was doing this before, but why? Mm-hmm. I hate it. And then, I think,
well, so like also my like stupid academia brain that I've been in for the last year, it's like you put a bunch of people inside and the only way that they can perform themselves, because they can't do it in real life, is online.
Yep.
But then we are also still like inundated with like capitalism. Like that's where, I mean, this all stems from
very impressive.
Like not to be gross, but like, or like annoying and be like, but like it's all like productivity is all about like, we're only talking about work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like we're not, imagine if you took that out of the equation, we'd all crumble. No one would know what to do. Society would fall. So then you have those values, and then you have people like kind of like expressing themselves specifically like online because of the pandemic, like more than ever, which just creates like, that's what big busy wants.
I know.
It creates big busy. Mm-hmm. And so it's hell.
Well, and I can't sit there and say that I didn't used to do the exact same thing and glorify it and think it was so cool. I do follow influencers. Like, why do I care? But I do.
Well, I mean, every once in a while, it'll be like, you know, I'll be like leaving the house and I'll have like my little to-go cappuccino, and I'm, you know, getting on my bike, which is the equivalent of getting in your Hyundai or whatever. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, look at me. Yeah, right.
Like maybe the days that it's like I'm high is if there's like a little lipstick on the coffee cup. Yep. It's like, okay.
Girl boss.
Coco Chanel could never.
She left her stamp.
I was just like, you know, and like those little, and like you're wearing like maybe a good boot or something. That it's like, oh yeah, there's a nice coat involved.
100%.
And that's when I'm like, that's like the vision of myself that I have. But like, it's so like the fact that makes me feel powerful.
Oh my God, I know.
Is so gross because it is all about just like going and producing something for someone else too. You know, like you're not even.
That's what I think is honestly so crazy about it all is like, here I am doing all of these things. None of this is for my own benefit. Literally none of it. Besides,
it's not even under your own
getting
name,
paid. Right.
You know,
literally.
Like, it's like under the name of like the company that you work for.
Yeah.
So like your work doesn't even get to like be like, that's why I'm jealous of famous people. Because everything they do gets to be like under their own name. I mean, right. And they have like a lot of money and stuff. But like,
that is so true.
that
so does change things.
But just like, yeah, the fact, because like, you know, everybody else, we work so much, and then it doesn't even like we get recognized maybe like within our small company, and we're like fed those little breadcrumbs. We're so like starved for validation that we're like,
I know,
thank you, to be like recognized in the meeting or in the email or whatever. You're like, okay, right. Because there's no praise for it either. That's like the other thing is like there's no exclusion if you have like a kind mother like us that's like, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, right, literally.
But everything else is like, no, there's just everyone going like, oh, okay, so like what's next?
Yep, I know. It never stops. I think that's the hard part of it too, is like because you're so busy, and whether we're talking work or school or just even like, I don't know, a hobby, this podcast, something like that. Like you're literally, we're all trained to be in that mindset of like, what's next, like next goal. And you don't even celebrate any of the like little wins or anything, you know? And like, if you actually take time to think about like how much you have accomplished, you know, but you don't even have time to do that.
I've been thinking about that a lot since I've moved to Amsterdam. Cause like, so tomorrow will be like my 1 month since I've moved here. And I was talking with I was talking with my manager, and they're like, okay, so what's the 3-year plan? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
We just finished the 5-year plan. You know, and like, even like me, like it took me like so much reflecting to be like, even be like, I have done every single thing that I have ever said I was going to do. Yeah. Like when I graduated college, which I'm 25 now, graduated at 22. So like I did it even more, but like, wanted to go back to school. I wanted to move to Europe. I wanted to move to Amsterdam specifically. I've done all of those things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even like, I was like, oh, like I've gotten every single thing that I've wanted, and I've worked for it.
No,
and
totally.
It doesn't even feel that great.
No, I know.
And then not because like I'm not happy where I am. It's like because I'm turning my eyes. Like I'm like, what's next? So they were like, what's your 3-year plan? I was like, that's an act of violence. And I was like, I'm not making another plan again because I did it. And that's great. But like, it would be one thing if I was here and I was like, I've made it. I feel fantastic about myself and about my life, but I don't feel that. Yeah. And so then it's like, why? I'm not going to go through I'm not going to like, I feel like I know better now to be like, okay, well, if I do this, this, and this, then it'll work. Because it's not. Because at the end of that, I'm going to be in the exact same
cycle. Yep.
And I'll probably even be like, oh, but like, and like I fall victim to this a lot of being like, I was so happy like 2 years ago. No, you weren't.
Dude, I know, same.
You know, like you weren't. You were miserable. You've been miserable your whole life. Okay, like that's your like. Not like I'm not, but like it hasn't like the whole thing isn't miserable, but like it's just never as like every time you're in a place, you think that it's going to be better.
Oh my God, I know. In the future, always the grass is always greener on the other side. Yep.
And either side too, right? When in reality, it's all kind of been the same. It's all like, it's pretty even keeled of like good and bad. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, I'm not making another plan because I'll just be in the exact same position. But now I don't have a plan. And I'm like,
also unsettling. I know you just can't fucking win, man.
So weird. No, you can't. Yeah. And also like I've been telling everybody, well, I was initially when I moved to Amsterdam and I was like, oh, I was so miserable. Not miserable, but I was just like, you know, changes. And so I was like, I am in my flop era.
Dude, change sucks. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was telling everybody, I was like, I'm in my flop era. And everyone's like, not really. Things seem to be going kind of well for you. And I was like, no, but I don't feel good. I'm flopping. And then I've rebranded it now. I'm in my landslide era. The Dixie Chicks song.
Okay.
You know, because it's really like, if I listen to it now, I'm just like, I get it.
Yep.
It's hitting.
Yep.
And I get it.
It's hitting a little different. It's really,
exactly. And so in this time, it's really hard to like not be like cracking the whip to like move forward, especially because like I don't think you and I are particularly like no, we're not ambitious, but we're also not, you know, like we don't have CEO dreams,
right? No, thank you.
I don't think either of us are that attached to the idea of working, period.
Yeah,
you know, like
I thought I was. Like when I was younger, I was very sold on like Girl Boss. I was very sold on Carrie Bradshaw. You know, like I wanted to be that.
Yeah, but Carrie was shoved down our throats.
She was.
We didn't have a choice. Everybody
really
wanted
didn't.
to be Carrie Bradshaw.
I know, or like, right? No, 100%.
Or it's more like, I mean, that's the death of the dream job.
Yeah,
was earth shattering to me.
Yes, right, exactly.
Which happened, like I think in the last 6 months, where I was like, oh my god. Because I'm doing this master's, and so I'm like, this has been miserable. No, it's been miserable, and like, don't go back to school. But but
also don't join the workforce. You just it's a lose lose.
But then I was in the middle of this, and I was like, okay, this is all gonna be worth it when I have a sick ass job. And then I followed this girl. Like, okay, I do these things where I get like, I like creep. This is, dude, I'm so fucking weird. I like the same way that I'm a hater. I'm also like a secret admirer of like certain of girls who like work in jobs that I think I might potentially want.
Oh, same. I love, that's that's the type of person I follow on Instagram, and I follow so like many of them.
But I'm creepier because I can't just come forward and follow them. I have like a list of 6 that I will like look up. And from
hilarious. Like just give them the support
every week or so. Maybe even sometimes twice a week. And I'll watch their stories. I'm not too afraid of that, you know, I've liked a few things. But like all of them have it's so weird.
I'm dying.
But like, it's because I think the reason I don't follow them. I actually don't follow a lot of people on Instagram or social media, but like Instagram specifically whose content I actually really like, because I don't like getting it on my feed. I would rather like every 3 days go to their page and like take a big hit.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. That's
and like really like and then I'm like, yes.
Then you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, that's nice.
Yep.
So, but
instead
of
like, sprinkling it in.
Yeah. Because I don't want to be like, if I'm not in the mood to receive it, then I'm like,
you don't. Right. You don't want to microdose it. Yeah.
I want big hits. I want big hits. And so but like 3 of them have now left their jobs, and like, you know, then
I'm experiencing a lot of that with my Instagram girlies as well. It's interesting.
And then I'll like,
there's a lot of transition happening.
People tell stories on the internet in the most subtle ways. So it's like, I find their Twitters and like, I see who like the tweets that they're liking. And then I'm like, okay, so you're toxic company culture. It was too much stress. Social media managing is much bigger than it looks on the, you know, it's like through what they're like favoriting. I'm like, okay, so you're saying without saying it, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, Hannah. Yes, and so we're just going to keep. And so then I'm like, okay, so the jobs that I want, that people have, they don't even want them.
Yep.
It's kind of like when you're running towards something and you see everybody running the opposite direction.
Yes, dude.
And you're like,
and that to me is why I feel like you have to remember it's like the job can't be the only thing, because it just is never going to matter that much. I saw people that I thought were literally like in a dream field, maybe an editor or maybe like a cool social media manager for a major publication or something. And even they have moved on now. And really it has been in this last couple months. Like I feel like it's like post-pandemic. I mean, I did that too.
It all got like, it gets shaken up.
It does.
And so
you like leave whatever you had to go find something else. And I feel like I did that. I do. I like what I've got going on better.
Your toxic situation.
I did. Thank you.
And it took a minute.
It did.
But
because I hate quitting jobs. Yeah, that sucks.
Hell.
There's nothing worse.
Like honestly, do you remember? Did I tell you the time? I think it was like a year ago when I got tear gassed in France.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, because I walked towards the tear gas because I was like, what, you know, and everyone else is running away, but I'm like, what's the smoke? And then I didn't get tear gassed. I tear gassed myself. I walked into the tear gas. Then everybody's running the opposite direction.
Yeah, it was.
And I walked into the
little
crowd.
Bit of self.
But that's the exact same situation where I'm like, I know that there is toxicity there.
Uh-huh.
But like, I I can't not, it's like a moth to a flame, not because it's toxic, but because like, it's, if like when you've spent your whole, I mean, like you and I, for example, like our whole youth, aiming towards one career path or one sort of career genre, you can't walk away from that.
Right.
I have no plan B.
Right. Oh,
there is
not
no
even a little
B.
bit. Yeah.
And like, of course, like life, like I think either also both of us have designed a life in which like there are like work is B to C if we had it our way, you know? Yes. Sometimes like the demands of it don't allow it, but like we're not as defined by it at the moment, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like the death of the dream job was like, to me, what like was the Jenga piece that I took out of my big busy that kind of started to dismantle a little bit. So I was like, what is all of this for? Like, and like more importantly, like who is it for?
No, 100%.
Because like it's not for me because I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, I know. And then you're sitting here like, hey, this is what I'm spending 40 hours, if not more, of my week on, and it doesn't benefit me. So that's interesting. Like,
yeah.
Makes you think.
Yeah, it's so lame.
And like, I still think it's important to find something to do, like that you don't despise, you know, like I think. Oh yeah. I mean, of course everybody wants the whole, like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I don't even think that that's true. I don't think that that's possible. Yeah.
I think like it also comes down to like, it's stupid. It's small, unsexy stuff like scheduling. Yeah. And like when I was working as a teacher, like it was the one aspect of the job that like, I was like, oh, I would like to carry this into other jobs is like every hour or so it's a different thing. Yeah. Makes the day go by so fast. So like little things like that are huge to know, you know, that it's like, okay. And I like not sitting at a desk for the entire day. Yep. Like, I don't think I could ever do like any kind of like office admin. Yeah. Like being like, for example, like an administrative assistant, like things like that. Like not just doing something just to do it, but yeah, like just like it's sometimes really, really tiny details. Like if the work is not gonna really like totally fulfill you.
Right. And it doesn't so much have to be about the subject matter as much as just like what you're actually doing day to day. Like as long as you don't hate your tasks, I think that should be the goal. Not so much like I want to fall into this absolutely beautiful and moving career. I think that's unrealistic. I think it's more just like, here's what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis.
You know, it's like how I know I'm sick in the head. Is like we're having this whole conversation and I'm like, yeah, it's unrealistic. But I was like, maybe not for me though.
No, I know. Like, I still do that.
Like, you're like, okay, yeah, like it sucks for them.
Right.
Like it wouldn't be like that for me. You know, you're like, I'm different.
Okay, well, and I think some of what that is too is like, that's why we still have creative hobbies and we do things outside because there's still this dream, right? Where like, maybe my podcast will blow up and I only have to do this for the rest of my life. Or
and that is the dream always. Yeah, like your passion project to like take off is that is like the carrot at the end of the stick.
Yeah, right.
It's apparently not enough for me to start any of them, but like that's always every time you begin anything, you're like, what if this is it?
I know, totally. No, and I think that's why like you have to like keep little things like that on the outside. I mean, I'm not the best about doing those things because even tribute to Big Busy, like there was a while there where this podcast was like taking a back seat, was getting a little overwhelming. I was like literally recording the week of and like it was like, this is not how it's supposed to be. And I'm not even enjoying this anymore.
It's like a sloppy school project.
Yep. Yes,
instead 100%. Of like the thing, and like that's it's such a bummer when you can feel like things like that. Like even like right now, during my time at school, like one of the best classes I took in my last like semester of classes, they introduced us. They made us read this really corny book called The Artist's Way. Okay. And super, super corny. But one of the practices that they introduced is called the morning pages, where you wake up and you just write for 20 minutes. And it actually is great. Like so much shit comes out, you know, that like eventually like, cause like, I mean, that's the thing about, I think anything is you have to like create so much to find like the little thing that's good. And so that has been really like that was like, I was into it, but now it's like, I wake up and even like 20 minutes in the morning. And the key is it's supposed to be like the first thing you do.
Okay.
Which is really hard because the first thing I do is sit on my phone.
Oh,
I need like 15 minutes of phone time.
I know. We're addicts.
And I have to like sit in my bed with my coffee.
That's nice.
That's like another thing I like to do, like uninterrupted.
Oh, that's kind of nice. I like that for you.
Oh, my whole morning MO, I think since I was like a teenager, is get up, get coffee, but get back in bed.
Yeah.
And then sit there until about 10 minutes before I have to leave the house. And then scramble. Nice. Even though I've had like a lot of time, like I need morning downtime. That's why like I think like big busy makes me feel so ashamed, is because like I need a lot of downtime. And so like not people, well, no, there are people, but like that is like lazy and like shameful.
I know.
And that sucks because it's like, also like if you're depressed, like you do need a lot of downtime.
Yeah. No,
and stuff,
totally.
Or not even need it. Like you are just going to have a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so it just like the only reason that like it's the capitalistic nature of big busy that doesn't let you like take any, like there's no rest, there's no breaks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm kind of rambling now, but it's just
no, but it is true. It does. It's like so much ass. And like, I feel like it's interesting too. I was actually talking to Lauren's mom, shout out Christine, last night, because she just retired, which is very exciting. Mm-hmm. Like this is literally her like last week of work. Yeah. And you know, she's actually doing what you were just doing. She's going out to Madrid.
That's what my mom just told me. She's going to Madrid.
Yeah, and she's going to teach English. And I was like, honestly, more power to her, because that's amazing, especially to do that a little bit later in life, you know, like amazing. Yeah. And she retired early. And she was just like, we were chatting last night, and she was like, you know, I just feel like life lesson, like, you know, it's good to like your job, blah, 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 blah. But like, you like stop making sacrifices for work like that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. And like, she was like, I skipped out on going to Madrid when I was much younger because I had just gotten this job, and I was like, I can't go to Madrid for a month. I just got hired. Like I can't do something like that. And she's like, and now I just wish I would have done it. Like, what was the point? And like something else will come along. And so that's why she's going now. And I was like, fucking yeah, rock on, Christine. Like that's fucking amazing. Yeah.
And like I think like for like at least like thinking about myself, like I also like I have not prioritized work. I mean, I've been kicking the can down the road as long as possible before I have to like join the workforce, so to speak. But also like even with that, like you're still going to get the external forces being like, okay, but you got to grow up sometime. Like,
oh, totally.
That's just big busy. Okay,
and
that's
like
not
I don't
true.
think right. No, it really isn't. And like some people make it work, which is inspiring. And then of course you see that's also why like the influencer culture is so enticing, because you're like, they don't actually work. I mean, they do. There's probably a lot they do behind the scenes.
One thing I want all influencers to know is I believe you wholeheartedly that it's harder than it looks, but you've got to stop saying it's hard.
Right. I know.
You know, like I 100% believe that like it is harder than the average person. Like if you were to make me do what an influencer does all day, I'd be like, oh, that was worse than I expected, but it wouldn't be as hard as like a regular job.
No, it just wouldn't. Because you're getting flown to all these beautiful places. What
people do for free.
Yes,
like
yes,
anything
100%.
Anytime you do anything that people already do and they don't get paid for, it just doesn't. It's not hard.
Yeah, you can't say it is. You just can't claim that. It's not how it works.
Oh, you like my culture. My culture is not your costume. And I think all influencers need to understand that.
I like that. I think that's something you could get on a soapbox.
It's true. Yeah. Also, I want to clarify to everybody who is listening about my BUI. Don't drink and drive.
Even if it's on a bicycle?
No. It's fine on a bike. It's fine. But I don't want anyone thinking I'm condoning a DUI and a BUI.
Sure. Very separate.
Are different. Okay. And so when you DUI, that's bad. When I BUI, it's a cultural experience.
That is so true.
And so don't get it twisted.
You can't take that away from her.
Yeah, and don't twist my words. Don't go twisting my words.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, I love you. This was so sweet.
Yeah, I love you too. I'm excited. I'm
excited.
Thank you for letting me on the pod.
Oh my gosh, yes, we're kicking off season 2. It's gonna be good. Bye.